Hello everyone, good evening. Glad you could join me. It's going to be a good night tonight. This is number 3 in my birthday class series. So if you missed the other two, the first two, you can go back and watch the replay. I'm just getting my comments up here. And it looks like I'm there. Hello, Nancy. How are you today? Did you guys get a lot of snow up your way? We got about 4 or 5 inches, I think. So, oh, my Rufus is here with me. Yes. Hello, Jenny. Happy Stamp with Arlena Day. I like that. Make it on a calendar. Stamp with Arlena Day. Woohoo! Every Thursday. You're right, Jenny. So tonight is my, oh, you didn't get much? Yeah, I have friends down in, down by Pontiac, and they got about 7 inches. So I think further south they got more than we did. Hello, Sue. Glad you could make it here. I know you're busy, and I wonder if anyone else in that house is watching. Sue is at her daughter's house, taking care of her as she recovers from surgery. And my great niece and great nephew, Matthew and KK, are there. And I'm sure they're watching too. So thank you. I appreciate that. So I want to tell you, this is number 3 in my birthday class series. So if you haven't seen the first 2, you can go back and watch the replays. However, you can't place an order for those kits anymore. The time has elapsed for those. But so if you order of a minimum of $35 or more between now and Monday, I will send you for free this class that we're going to do tonight. We're going to do 2 cards and 2 bags. So you'll get, or 1 bag. 2 cards, 1 bag, but you'll get 2 of each, supplies to do 2 of each. So you'll get a package for 6, enough for 6 projects. And that is shipped right to your house for free of charge, just for placing that order. And then if your order is $50 or more, you can choose a celebration item for every $50 you spend. So without holding you up anymore, I'm going to start. Sue and Heather kind of saw the beginning of my first card that I'm going to make. I think that's the card I'm going to make first. I didn't know which one to really make first, but we'll go with the one that they saw. So I'm going to point you to my work surface. Okay. And this, I'll show you the card first so you can see what we're going to strive to get. So it's a birthday card, because it is a birthday series, and it's Birthday Queen, and there's a bee there that we're going to cut out. This is made with the Queen Bee stamp set and the dies to match, and they are gorgeous. I already used some of them. So there's a little label, flowers, honeycomb, bees, wings. They're all gorgeous. So let me start. You start with a half sheet. I'm just going to move some things out of the way here. A half sheet of Very Vanilla cardstock, which is cut at 5.5 by 8.5, and you fold that in half. I'm going to use my bone folder and get a nice burnish on that crease. Then I'm going to take a piece of Very Vanilla that is 4 inches by 5.25, and I'm going to use the Time Worn type 3D embossing folder. And this one does have words on it, so you want to make sure your words are going the right direction, that they're not backwards or upside down. And on this embossing folder, there's this line here. I use that as like a level, so I know I don't think that's the right size. Let me check here, because it's not going in the folder very well. So it's supposed to be 4. Oh, it's not. This is a leftover piece. So I'm going to cut it 4, 5, 5 1/4. There we go. Now it will fit in there. And again, I'm going to line that paper up right on that line so I have it straight. This does require me to use the big Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine. And I had it on the floor, and my dog, oh my goodness, my dog was in here wanting pets, and I pet her, not even thinking that the machine was down toward my feet, and it would get all over that. Okay, so for the 3D embossing folders, you want to use the base plate, which is number 1. I think you can see this number 1 here. And then you want to use the thick gray plate. So you put the embossing folder down, hinged end in first. Oh, sorry about that. That was pretty loud. And then the number 4 plate. And then you wind it through, crank it through. And then you have your piece like that. And see all the words in it? It really is beautiful. It's a beautiful embossing. So now what I want to do with that, and I'm sorry I'm talking away, this takes a lot of tools, so I've got them every side of me, right, left, behind me. So I'm taking the embossed piece, and I'm going to take my blending brush, and that's just stained. It's not, that ink is not going to come off onto this paper. And then I'm going to take some crumb cake, and I'm going to distress this a little, just a little. So I'm going to rub it in there. I don't know if you can see that. And then I'm going to start off the page and work onto it. That way I don't get dark spots, like big impressions or ink streaks. So again, I'm just picking up some ink. And go all around. And you can probably hear my table creaking, I'm sorry. Hello, Heather. I hope you're feeling better, honey. So I want just a little bit more around the edges. And of course, the raised parts are what's going to really hit that ink and bring it out. Okay, I'm going to set my brush aside. I'm going to close this up. Then I'm going to set this aside with the card base. And I want to stamp that B. I'm going to put this embossing folder away. And this stamp set is just beautiful. I'm going to use Block E. I don't hardly ever use my Block E, but I want to take, this B is pretty big, so I'm going to see if it, yes, it will fit on this. I just have a scrap piece of Very Vanilla. And I'm actually going to stamp this in Early Espresso. Tap, tap, tap. And then push down, straight up. Isn't she beautiful? Oh. Then I'm going to clean this stamp real quick. It doesn't take long. I just have my chamois that's wet with, it's just damp. It's not dripping or anything, with water, and that's all it is to do that. Put that aside. Now I want to color her, and I'm done with this paper, so I'm going to get rid of that so it's not distracting. So I have Petal Pink blends, the light and the dark, and I have the Soft Succulent light and dark blends. So when I did this one this morning, I actually liked, that is the dark Petal Pink. So I'm going to use the dark Petal Pink and color in the flowers. Now I don't want to spend a lot of time on those, the ink and the flowers, because I don't want that Early Espresso to bleed. When using blends, the best ink to use for the outline is the Tuxedo Black, the Memento Black, because it does not bleed. But the other inks will bleed, so you want to be careful not to spend too much time coloring in those flowers. I'm not looking at comments right now because I'm coloring. I don't see any new comments coming in. So when you hop on, if you haven't been here before, please let me know where you're from and how you found me. I'd appreciate that. Share my video, and I'll put your name in for a drawing, and I will draw a name and next week, and for all those that share, and you can win. I'll send you a card that I make tonight. I'm laughing because it's so quiet in here, and I feel like I'm ignoring you guys, but usually when I craft, I'm a quiet crafter. Otherwise, I love to talk, so people find that they think I'm mad when I'm crafting because I don't talk. This is the light Soft Succulent. And now I'm just going in and lightly coloring the leaves. The bee looks pretty busy when you first look at it, but once you start coloring it, the leaves stand out and the flowers stand out. I could have had all this done before the video, I guess, but I wanted to show you how easy it is to color in with the blends. And there she is. Isn't she pretty? Pretty, pretty, pretty. Let me show you up close. Yes. All right. So we want to cut her out as well. And I am not going to fussy cut. I am actually going to use the B cutout. She fits right over that. And I'm going to use my mini machine right here because it's right here. And right now you can get the mini machine in boho blue. Oh, that machine's across the room. So if you buy the starter kit, the only way you can get it is to purchase the starter kit. And one of the options is to spend $129 and you get the boho blue mini machine and $175 of whatever you want in the catalog. Oh, there's a dimensional backing. So you get $175 worth of product and the mini cut and emboss machine with all the plates, that comes with all the plates too, for $129. So you can choose that option in the blue or the white. And if you already have the mini machine, you say, Arlena, I really don't need another one, which everyone could use another one. At least that's my opinion. I do classes, so it always helps to have extras so people aren't waiting in line for them. But if you choose not to get the mini machine, it's $99 for the starter kit, and you get to pick $175 worth of product. It is the best deal I've ever seen Stampin' Up! Have for their starter kit. And if that's something you're interested in, you don't want to miss out. If you are going to place an order and it's anywhere close to $99, you will definitely want to purchase the starter kit, so you get $175 worth of product. Okay, also with this, these dies, there's this like string of leaves, and I did already cut those out. I cut 2 of them out, so they're like that. So I'm not going to cut those again. My blends are rolling all over the place. So I have that. And then I want to take, and I'm going to do this now because I want the ink to start drying. So I'm going to cut out of vellum a strip that is 3/8 inch. That queen is pretty big. Let me do 5/8. We'll see if we can fit it on there. 5/8. And then I'm also using a strip, if I can find it. Where'd she go? Of the distressed gold. Oh, it's right here. Okay. So this is the distressed gold paper. I don't know if you can see how it shimmers a little bit. And it comes in a 2-pack like this. And it's called Distressed Gold 12x12 Specialty Paper. So I'm taking a strip of that. I'm going to make sure that this vellum fits on top of it. And it does. I think I want it just a little bit smaller. And I'm going to actually take the blade and I'm going to pull it toward me so that it doesn't move the paper. Okay, we'll see if this will fit on here. Then I want birthday. Take my black. And I'm going to stamp this in Early Espresso as well. just tap, tap, tap. I have to pull this toward me, so if I'm out of the camera, I apologize. But I have to be over top of it to see it. I'm still not seeing it very well because that vellum is blending in with my background. Oh, there we go. And then clean that, and then I want the word queen. And put that on there. Just tap, 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 tap. And again, I'm pulling it toward me so I can see it. Okay. It's a little bit crooked, but I think it still will work. And then I want to shut this so I don't put my hand in it. And then I'm just going to set this aside to dry, okay? All right. So now I think I can start assembling the card. This ribbon that I used is it's a 2-pack, and it's called Old Olive and Sahara Sand. And this is actually the Sahara Sand ribbon. And I stamped the crown on it in Mossy Meadow on both sides. So because when I tied it, I wanted to make sure it was on both sides. So there's a crown on there. So we can take that Sahara Sand and the crown stamp and Mossy Meadow ink. And then I want to make sure I have enough ribbon to tie around that. So I'm going to tap, 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 and then just randomly stamp right on the ribbon. I want to make sure I have enough. Okay, and then I'm going to turn it over, and I want to stamp on the other side. Well, hello, Nancy. It's okay. We're just starting our first card, and it's called Birthday Queen, and it's made with the Queen Bee bundle. How was bacon today? So bacon is, what is it, Nancy? Like a nonprofit, I don't want to say charity, but it's for people that need help with clothing and dishes and household items and things like that. And bacon provides all that for those people. And Nancy volunteers there every Thursday. She is an incredible giving woman and a wonderful hostess, and we love her. Okay. I'm going to cut the ribbon off so I can tie it. And set that aside. So now I want to tie around the embossed piece only. Okay. It's upside down, so how did I do that? Upside down, and then it will be right side up. Ah! It's crazy. There we go. There we go. And then I'm just going to tie it in a knot. I'm not going to tie it in a bow. This is pretty thick ribbon, and to tie it in a bow would add a lot of bulk to the card. And if you're going to mail it, it would cost extra postage. And with postage just going up this past Sunday, we definitely don't want to add more expense to our card. I'm trying to get this turned so that crown shows. And then I'm just going to trim the edges like so. And then I'm going to pop this up with dimensionals. Nonprofit for food, clothing, and financial. That is what Benzie Area Christian Neighbors. That is, okay. Oh, that's what it stands for, BACON, Benzie Area Christian Neighbors. We love you too. Aww. See, so such a great community. That community up there is wonderful. Nancy's house and my brother Lyle was one of my sister's stops when we were on our road trip a couple weeks ago. I can't believe it's already been a couple weeks since we've been there. And we got to shop in the little town of Frankfurt, and I was surprised that anything was open because it's a tourist town. But I got t-shirts for $10. I love it because it says, "I just want to smell like a campfire." And that is so me. Also, I lucked out. You want to make sure that the words are going the right way. I had told you that already when I was embossing it. Otherwise, they'll be upside down or backwards. So just double check that to make sure that that works okay. I'm going to turn that down a little bit. Then I'm going to put these on like so, and I'm going to use my multi-purpose glue, Tombow glue. Some people call it green glue, not because the glue is green, but the bottle is green. And I'm just very lightly putting a bead of glue on the inside center stem. And then I'm going to put it down like so. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Now, if you like greenery and you want the leaf more full, the wreath more full, you can definitely add 4 of these if you want. Go. And then I want to pop up the bee with dimensionals. Look at this, I'm getting low on dimensionals. It means I'm going to pull out a new sheet pretty soon. Woohoo! Love myself a fresh sheet of dimensionals. Ooh, that was, I almost slipped on that one. Put her right in the middle. Then I want to cut the word queen and the word birthday out of here. Okay. Then I want to glue it on this distressed gold. So I'm just going to put a few dots of glue on there and try to get it behind the words, the letters, because I don't want that glue showing through. It showed through on my one I did this morning, and I ended up covering it with an embellishment, which worked out very well. So I'm just pressing this down. And the reason I'm pressing it down with a tool, the end of a tool, is so that I don't smear it if it's still wet. So I'm just going to trim that off, trim that off, and trim that off. Then I want to pop these up with dimensionals. So I don't know how many of you know, my husband is a gospel illusionist, and he loves magic, has loved it since he was about 8 years old. And he actually got a call from someone that wants him to do a magic show this summer. And the place of all places is Duluth, Minnesota. Minnesota, eh? And we're so excited about it. So we're taking a trip out there. I did some searching on the internet, what's in Duluth. Oh my goodness, there is so many beautiful things. There's a Great Lakes Aquarium and a zoo, and there's a aerial lift bridge that the whole bridge rises to let the freighters under. I think I'm going to add some gems. Oops, hang on. I'm going to use these polished dots because they have this color in that looks like petal pink. It doesn't say on here what color they are, but I think they're pretty close to petal pink, and they will work. The thing about Stampin' Up's embellishments, even if they're not the same color, they do take on the color of the card. So, so it's pretty cool that way. Ah! I'm picking up two of them at the same time. Okay, I'll put one over here, and then one down here. So there's our card for the first one. Can you see it? I think it might need some Winka Stella. What do you think? Who wants Winka Stella on it? Can you tell me in the comments? Winka Stella comes in a pen like this, and it has a brush at the end, and it's like glittery paint. Queen Bee, that's me. Oh yes, Sue. And do you think you need some Winka Stella? Yes, wink it. All right. I'm going to wink the heart and the flowers. Oh yeah, she's coming to life. We'll set her aside to dry a little bit. Oh yeah, look at her. I don't know if you can see it. I'm trying to turn it so you can see it, but I don't. I can see it in real life, so you'll have to take my word for it if you can't see it on the screen. That's what's bad about pictures. Even the pictures in the catalog, Stampin' Up! Catalogs, do not do these things justice. It just does not. But, okay. So we've got that one done. We're going to set that aside. Now we're going to go on to our second card. Let me just get some of this stuff put away. All right. All right, so the second card, I'm going to use a new technique when I'm die cutting because it's an intricate cut. And I tried it before I started the video, and it didn't really work that well, but I'm going to try it a different way. So this set is Around the Bend, and it does come with all the dies that go with it too. And the card we're going to make, I just had it. You know, I watch videos and I see people making cards. And they lose things, and I'm like, how can they lose things? Well, I tell you, I'm having a time tonight. But this is our second card we're going to make tonight. And this is made with Around the Bend. So this is the die that's pretty intricate. We're going to try a new technique and see if it works. I tried it one way before the video. It did not work real well. So we're going to try it another way. So I'm going to need my the big Stampin' and Cut emboss machine. And again, we need the base plate number 1 and the plate number 2 and the acrylic plate number 3. And you can see how bad that is. See, this one still has a lot of life in it. But this one is ready. It's ready for a new one. So I might swap that out tonight. So what I want to do is take a half sheet I can't pick it up, I don't know why. A half sheet of Petal Pink cardstock, and it is scored in half, but I don't need to fold it yet. I'm going to put it down on my plate, and then I'm going to use this beautiful intricate die this way. But before I do that, I'm gonna move this over so you can see what I'm doing. This is a half sheet of a dryer sheet, half a piece of dryer sheet. So I'm actually going to put this down on my plate first. Then I'm going to put my cardstock down. Then I'm going to put my die down. All right. Then I'm going to put my other number 3 plate down. And I'm going to start cranking it through. And because it's an intricate die, I'm going to back it up and run it through backwards as well. So it's going to go through those rollers twice and hopefully cut out all those little pieces. All right. So there's none in my die, which is nice. I don't have to clean that out. And then I'm going to take this out. I'm actually going to put this aside so I can show you on the table. Now, hopefully, so this piece comes right off. And you can either save that for another card that you want to do or throw it away. It doesn't matter. And then I'm hoping when I peel this off, all those pieces come with it. Well, most of them did. Most of them did. Softener sheet when you use the die. Yes. Yes, I use the softener sheet. So now I'm going to try to poke those out. I have a brush that will roll it, but I don't have the foam pad for underneath, so it doesn't really want to work that well, and that just makes a lot of noise, so I'm not doing that. So I'm going to take my pick tool, and it's got the pointy end, and I'm just going to pop those out. So as I'm doing this, why don't you talk to me so we can pass the time away? And actually, these are poking out really easily. Easier than before. So, you know, I remember using this technique years and years and years ago, and it worked great, but I don't know why it didn't work. And it is an unused dryer sheet. So I wonder if a used dryer sheet would work better. Okay. And just pulling those all off the back. It smells like Downy in here. That's the kind of fabric softener I use. I usually use the liquid. My daughter bought me fabric sheets one time, and I don't ever use them, so hey, why not use them for crafting, right? Okay, I think they are all out, so that's good. And look at the mess we got here. So I'm just going to clean this up real quick. Put that away. Okay. All right, now we can fold this in half. And again, I want to use my bone, oh, pulled the wrong thing out of here, bone folder, and crease it really good. And I have one on the inside here. All right. Okay. And the dryer sheet left some residue, but that's not going to matter because I have another piece of paper that's going on the back of that to pop through. So now I want a piece of white, and I want it, let's see, I think I want it about 3 inches, but I'm going to, before I cut it, I'm going to use the dies, and I'm going to use this long one with the dots and the line. And this one actually takes the big block F. And I use this one even less than the other one. then I'm using mint macaron. This is a beautiful color. And tap it. This is kind of hard to use, this big block, because it is so weird, so obscure. Okay, so I want to go this way. And I'm going to stamp down, and straight up. Woo! I got some on my table, but it's water based, so it comes right off. So that's nice. And then I want to clean this off real quick. And actually that hardly fits in there, so I'm going to take this off of here and just use the stamp in there. And put that back in there. So now I want to take this, and it's a little too long, so yep, this will be good to do 3 inches. Let me see here. I actually want to cut it first. The dies, this little die here, this is going to cut a scallop right around those dots. So let me pull my big machine out again. And it's going to make like a little lace border. And if it wants to move on you, you can use a piece of washi tape or a Post-it note where it's sticky. And then I'm going to run that through. And that will hold it right down, but it won't stick to the paper or tear the paper when you go to take it off. And then we have that. And again, you can save this or not. I wonder what it would look like on there. Ooh, that looks kind of neat. Like waves. Keep that in mind if you don't have a wave die. That would work with waves. Okay. So now I want a little bit cut off this edge. And I'm going to just test it just a little bit. And then I'm going to keep going back to it to see. I need about another 1/8 of an inch off. And then that's too much. So then I'm just going to pull it down a little bit and make sure I have it. I won't go all the way up to the crease here. So I'm just going to put some adhesive down here, my Stampin' Seal. There we go. And then this edge here, I didn't want to put Stampin' Seal through there because then it would come through those holes. So I'm just going to take my Tombow glue and I'm going to put it right along the edge, just a small bead, and then I'm just going to push it down. Okay, she's looking pretty. Then I want to take a piece of designer series paper. And I'm using it out of the Country Floral Lane paper. This is great for spring, for Easter, not Easter, Valentine's. Well, I guess you could do it for Easter too. And I just want to make sure, yep. So this I think is about a 2-inch strip. Yep, 2-inch strip, and I want it to be 5.5 to go all the way across the card, bottom of the card. And I'm going to put some, oh, look at that balmy blue back with the hearts and the argyle. You see that? That's pretty paper too. Okay, so I'm just going to line this up here. All right, and then I'm going to set that aside. Then I want to take my oval punch, and I'm going to take my go-to greetings with the smallest happy birthday. And I'm going to stamp it on a piece of white with the mint macaron. Just tap, tap, tap. Oh. See, I got the edge of it because I pressed too hard on my ink. So I'm going to clean my stamp. How do you get a number 1 after your name? I just have a flag. Oh, I just saw that. I don't know, Sue. Hello, Bonnie. Happy belated birthday. I don't know how you get a flag. Okay, let me try this again. Straight down, straight up. Oh, much better. I don't know how you get a number 1. Or do you get a number 1? Is there a number 1, or are you just teasing me? You know you're number 1, Sue, right? Okay, so then I'm going to take my oval punch, and actually this is not my oval punch, this is my daughter's oval punch, who she lets me borrow all her things that I don't have. She's really a sweet girl. She's out tonight with her college and career group. Okay. We don't want the scalloped oval in white, so I'm just going to set that aside. But I do want it in green. So let me see if I got room here on this piece. Yep. So always use up your paper if you can. That's the wrong color green. I want mint macaron green. So I'll save this label for another one, for some other project. Did anyone catch that? Sue is number 1. Yeah. Bonnie, don't tell her too much. You know, it might go to her head, and then we got all that to deal with. So, ugh. Alright, we got that. And we want, I'm going to set these dies aside. Actually, there's a string of hearts that we need some hearts. So I'm going to do, this is sweet sorbet. And again, I'm going to take my mini machine. My mini machine. I didn't think I would use it that much, but oh my gosh, for these little projects, it is so much handier than the big one. Okay, and then I'm just gonna crank it through. And yes, this is birthday, even though I got hearts. Because, you know, we love people that we send birthday to, right? Okay. Alright, so there's 3 hearts, there's 4 hearts, and there's holes that you can poke it through if they don't pop out automatically. Alright, so I'm going to put that heart away. I take my pick tool away. And then I need a ribbon. I'm using the white crinkled seam binding ribbon. Crinkled seam binding ribbon. And it is white. It's one of the only white ribbons we have, which in the past we've usually had quite a selection of white ribbon to choose from, but currently we don't have a lot to choose from. But this is pretty. It does make a pretty bow. And my crinkle ribbon is, there we go. I make my loops, I make my bow, and then I just fuss with it till I get it to the size I want. Then I trim the edges. Set that aside. Okay, so now I've got all those pieces. Now I can bring my card back in. I want to pop this up with dimensionals. Oh look, I'm getting down there. I got just one, and then the border. Of course, that border has a lot that you can use. Then I'm going to put it there. I'm going to take my bow and my mini glue dots, and I'm going to put the bow on there like that, and then I'm just going to pick it off. I didn't want to pick off. We'll try it again. And then I'm going to stick it here. So the less you can touch that mini glue dot, the more sticky it's going to remain. So you want to be careful with that. Okay, now I'm going to randomly put a dot of glue, not big dots, just random. Just enough so those hearts are gonna okay, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try to pick these up with the nope. Wonder if I can do it with the sticky end. And there we go. That one's upside down. And that one there. That one there. And that one there. Yay! Oh, I love this tool. Okay. And I think she's done. What do you think? you see it up close? And it just opens like that. If you click on the flag or the number 1 badge, it says how it was earned. Oh! Yep. Nancy Jones is number 1. Oh, I missed some comments. Let me go back. Okay. Something about an anniversary collar badge earned. Sue is number 1 also. Yay! Thank you, Nancy. I love the card too. Okay, so now I want to show you a bag. Super, super, super simple to do. I'm going to leave my bone folder out because I'm going to need it. Okay. So I'm using this paper from Celebrations called Dainty Flowers. And I used it last week. So if you ordered it with one of your celebration items, you can make this card too. Well, you can make it with any designer series paper. So, but that's just what I'm using. But if you want it to look exactly like mine, then you'll need it. So I'm going to cut a 12 by 12 inch piece of paper, 6 inches, and then set this aside, or you can make 2. And then I want the other side to be cut at 9.5. So if you have directional paper, you want to make sure that you're going to fold this correctly. This piece that we cut off, this 2.5 inches by 6, you want to save this. So set it aside and we'll come back to it. Okay. So now we want to score. We score on the short side. So this is the short side against your bumper. Or I don't know what else you'd call it. I call it a bumper. This would be the long side. This is the short side. And you can't even see that. So let me come up here. So this is the short side. And then this would be the long side. Okay? So we're going to score on the short side at 1 1/4 inch. Actually, I want this one to be 1 inch because this is going to be my top. And then I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to score the bottom at 1 1/4. The top of the bag and the bottom of the bag. Then I want to score on the long side at 1 inch, 2 1/4 inches, 5 1/4, and 6 1/2. Okay, so on the short side, you're going to score at 1 inch and 1 1/4 on the other side, 1 inch and 1 1/4. And then on the long side, you're going to score at 1 inch, 2 1/4 inch, 5 1/4 inch, and 6 1/2 inch. Okay? All right, we're done with our paper trimmer. And then I want to fold on all those score lines. Actually, the 1 inch, I'm going to score on itself. And that one too. All right. So then there is a corner piece, the 1 1/4 inch by 1 inch, this bottom corner, I'm going to cut that out. Okay? Just cut it right out and throw it away. Don't need it. Then I'm going to cut along the bottom still on every score line, right up to that first 1 1/4 inch mark. Okay, so you've got something like that. All right, then you've got this one and this one. You want to fold that over, and then you want to fold this over, and it's going to glue right on top of itself. We're going to put glue on here. We're going to fold that over, and it's going to go right on top of itself. And you'll want some pretty strong glue for this. I'm actually going to do that. If you've got Stampin' Seal Plus, that is better than what I'm using, the Stampin' Seal. I'm just using a lot of it here because I don't have my Stampin' Seal Plus at my fingertips. All right. So then I'm just going to fold that over and then fold this over onto itself. And then we have our little bag. See? Now this flap bothers me, so I'm going to use some Tombow glue, and I'm going to put a little bit in there, and then I'm just going to push that down, and hopefully it will dry very quickly. Okay. And then we're just going to close this up. And there is a front and a back, so this seam here, I want that to be the back. So I want to put adhesive on that front flap. And then I'm just going to glue that down like that. Then I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm going to really push inside there to make sure that it glues down. So just like that, you have a little bag. Okay, so now I'm going to take my 1/8" hole punch. I'm going to push in on the sides to close it. And see how there's 4 layers here, but there's only 2 layers there? I want to punch my holes there so that I'm not going through all those thicknesses. It's easier to go through 2 than 4. And I go about halfway down and punch. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. It's hard to do this when your project's away from you. And then I'm going to try to line that up, punch it. Then I'm going to set that aside. And this piece that we had, that we set aside before, we're going to fold that in half. And we're going to crease that like so. And then I have some labels already cut. And these are from the fancy, something fancy die set. And that's actually going to go on here. And then I have another label that I'm going to put in here. And I don't know. I'm thinking I'm going to use that happy birthday again. I think it will fit on there, yes. going to stamp it in Night of Navy so it matches that label. Oh, so pretty. I love this Night of Navy, and it has been around for so many years. I hope they don't get rid of it. And then I need a stamp that goes up and down. So hang on just a second. I'm still with you. Hang on. I know the stamp I want. I'm still here. I'm still looking. Drives me crazy when I have something in mind and I can't find it. I am so sorry. Here it is. Ha! Found it. It's Flowers of Friendship, and life is better with friends like you. Okay. And I'm going to stamp that in Night of Navy as well. And stamp that right on there. And put away this ink. Okay. And I want to mat this label on this one. And then I'm going to use some dimensionals on this. I'm just going to cut a piece here. And put that on here. And then put this on the inside here. Love it. And then this can go right in your bag. And then it can hold a lottery ticket or lottery tickets, a gift card, some chocolates, some hand sanitizer, you name it. You can put anything in there you want. And then I had a certain ribbon that I wanted to use. And it's gone. It's gone, it's gone. Oh, it's right here. I don't know if I want to use the green with that blue. I might want to use some blue. Oh, maybe I'll just use the crinkle. I'll just use the crinkle. So I'm going to go in from the front first. Through to the back. And then come to the back. And then through the front. Okay. Then I'm going to tie a bow. Oh, this is gonna want to open on me. That's all right. Well, I guess the bow's not too bad. I gotta fuss with it though, cause you know me and bows. I just gotta. And these tails are too long for me, so I'm gonna cut those off. And then we have this cute little bag, if you will, with a card in it. And you can put your little gift card in it, or lottery tickets, or chocolates, or whatever. What do you think? Do you like it? So we have the birthday queen. Oh, you know, I've got this gummy eraser. It should just pick up that glue that I got on there. All right, enough of that. So we've got the birthday queen, the queen bee, and the beautiful petal pink and mint macaron birthday, and then the bag. So when you place a $35 order using the host code that I'll post after I get done with the video, you will get supplies to make 2 of each of these mailed directly to you for free. And if you spend over $50, you can choose a celebration item as well and get a free item from Stampin' Up! So I hope you like these projects tonight. I'm going to point you back up to me. Hello. And yeah, so I hope you liked them. Which one did you like best? Or do you not have a favorite? What you think? I'm not seeing any comments. What do you think? Which one do you like best? All right. So next week will be my last class in the series, the Queen Bee. Yes, I really like them all. Nancy, you always like them all. So Jenny likes this one. Bonnie likes this one. Anyone else want to vote? I thank you for joining me tonight, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I don't have any plans, so that means I'm going to be in my craft room. So I'm very excited about that because, you know, this is my happy place. So we still have some Christmas decorations up, We should have taken them down on Tuesday when the weather was really nice. But nah, wait till the snow comes and then take it down in the snow, you know? We're from Michigan. You got to do that, right? Thank you, Bonnie. You too. You guys all have a wonderful evening, and thank you for joining me. And again, if you share my posts, if you share this video, I'll put your name in for a drawing, and I'll send you one of these items in the mail for free. So you take care, and I love you all. Thank you. Bye-bye.